This is the Villa Download. We break it down, your dose of love, violence and beyond. From the villa to the latest shows. This is the Villa Download, where the real story always flows.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our live reality TV interview series. Tonight, we are diving into Fox's competition series, The Snake, a social strategy game where alliances form fast, deceptions gets rewarded, and one player slithers to the top. If you've been streaming along on Hulu, you already know this show is a masterclass in gameplay, mind games, and big personalities.
And you are not lying, Danielle, with that. And speaking of big personalities, our guest tonight is the man who nearly took the whole thing. He's a former college football player, Golden Gloves boxer, and runner-up of The Snake, known for playing honestly first strategy in a game built on lies.
Yes, and he calls it ebb and flow like a snake, and it carried him to the finale. From early showmance whispers, which were hysterical, to pressure cooker challenges and shifting alliances, he stayed composed, competitive, and let's be real, compelling TV.
Please welcome Brett Covalt, everybody, the athlete who brought the heart, the discipline, and the strategy to The Snake on Fox. So come on, let's catch up. And if you need to catch up on it, catch up on Hulu and watch it there. So Brett, we're so excited to have you. Thank you. What's going on?
I appreciate you two having me. Saturday night, kind of low key, so forgive me. I lost my voice the other night, so I sound a little off. That's why. But I'm just chilling, drinking some lemonade. And excited for all of your questions.
Good. Hopefully you lost your voice over something good.
Friday night. Yeah.
Good.
I did.
Awesome. So speaking of it being Friday night, you know how Kimberly and I like to do it when we go live every evening. We have to have a drinking game. So here is tonight's drinking game. So take a sip when Brett mentions honesty or being real, or someone says alliance or betrayal, which will probably happen a lot, or Fox or Hulu gets name dropped. So you already have to take 4 sips already.
All right, and take 2 sips when Kaylee or Nina get brought up. Showmance flashbacks. I can't even talk. The pastor comes up in a conversation, and Kimberly and Dani sass each other on air, which it's good to get my
that's definitely gonna happen.
Yeah, I'd be on the floor.
Yes. And lastly, there's more because it's Friday night. Finish your drink when Brett reveals something that never aired on TV. He admits a moment he regrets. Or Dani and Kimberly laugh so hard they have to pause, which that happens every time as well. Or Brett surprises you by saying he would do another reality TV show. So let's see what happens, everyone. But yeah.
Every time we say a word, feel free to take a shot.
Awesome. Awesome. Cheers to a good weekend, everyone.
What about this bonus rule? How about snake emoji in the chat? Flip a snake emoji in the chat, then everybody drinks.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
I popped my CBD gummies tonight, so I'm good.
Nice.
I'm good. I'm elevated.
Awesome. Quick housekeeping real quick before we jump in. If you love reality TV interviews, the Snake breakdowns, and behind the scenes strategy, hit subscribe and turn on the notifications so you never miss a live.
Smash that like. It happens more. It helps us. Well, it helps us to
Yeah, it helps the Snake fans find this interview more. So share the stream with your group chats and drop your questions in the live chat. And guys, if you're catching the replay or listening on the Pop Culture Expose feed or Pop Culture Green Room, as you know, there's a lot of places to find us. Leave a 5-star review and comment with your favorite Brett moment. It generally helps us keep this going. So let's get into the questions, Brett, because that is what everyone is here for. So you are known as the boxer on the show. Between your college football career and Golden Gloves boxing, how much of that athletic discipline do you feel like carried you on the game, the Snake, or helped you get there in the first place?
I mean, being athletic definitely helped for sure. And I'd say half the challenges, because not all of them are physically competitive or physically demanding.
Right.
So I mean, it helped, but it was also somewhat detrimental because I'm just checking my battery. It was somewhat detrimental because you also have to be strategic. So if you come in as like a physical powerhouse, like Derek, me, Jack, McLean, you kind of also paint a target on your back. So that kind of goes into the challenge aspect on whether or not you're going to try as hard, actually do the challenge. So it ebbs and flows. There's pros and cons. It can be intimidating, but also challenging at the same time. So, I mean, I definitely, being very physical definitely helped, except when I was on the beam and tripped on my own damn foot. Other than that, it's good.
Let me guess what you played in college. Were you a wide receiver?
No.
No?
Are you still guessing?
Okay,
You want me to?
Huh?
I was going to say, do you want me to just tell you, or you want to keep guessing?
You can tell me. You can tell me.
I was a quarterback.
Oh. And what team did you play for again? I apologize.
I played in Wisconsin. I started at a small D3 school, then I walked on to a bigger school. But I only played college ball for a year, and then I realized that I was better at boxing, so stuck with boxing instead.
Got you. I'm a Northwestern Wildcats fan. Not that we have a lot going for ourselves, but that's my team. So you will find me there on game day. Awesome. Now, did your athletic background, did that help you get on the show at all? Or did you apply for the show? Did they find you? Sorry, Kimberly, I cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
I don't know if it was my athletic background. I obviously post a lot of fitness shit on Instagram, but I didn't reach out to them. I was originally supposed to go on a different show, and then for personal reasons, I was like, not the best look long term. So they reached out to me on Instagram, thought it was like a spam or like whatever, ignored it. They reached out to me again, and then I kind of sped ran through like 2-3 interviews. You get your medical done, and then I didn't hear from them for like a week or two. And it was a Thursday. I was moving into a new place down here in Tampa, and I get a call. They're like, "Hey, can you come to Argentina on Monday?" I was like this Monday? They're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Shit." Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, why not? Let's be spontaneous."
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. But yeah, no, I'm assuming they found me because of social media. Otherwise, obviously, I don't know who I am. But yeah, they reached out to me, and that's all she wrote.
What a wild whirlwind.
Yeah.
I know.
Sure.
That's super cool. That's awesome. All right, so we know that your faith and your values, they clearly influence like how you played the game and everything. So how hard was it for you to like balance like that in the game with that was like literally designed around like lying, which is a sin. So it's like you're like balancing, you're with it's kind of like the angel and the devil in one hand. So
yeah, for real. No, I mean, obviously, I myself, all of us, we're all imperfect people, right? Yeah. I'm not going to stand up here and be like, I'm so self-righteous, I'm perfect. No. I'm constantly working on myself, and I thought it would be interesting to go on this show. And yeah, it went against, my spirituality and my values and stuff. And at that point in my life, yeah, I wanted more adventure. I wanted some more friends, wanted, cool opportunities, whatever. But also spiritually, I was figuring some stuff out, and I realized mainly because I was in that spiritual route, but I was like, it'd be not only hilarious but ironic if I could win in a show that is the opposite of my faith, pretty much. Greed.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. And something I never told anybody is every time I was in the pit, I would literally like pray and be like, hey God, listen, if I fulfilled my duties here, send me home. If I haven't, just keep me here. I know, because when you strategize, sometimes due to certain alliances, or you want to like make it look like it's not as obvious if we are in an alliance with like secret packs. You would say, hey, you're going to be in the pit tonight, but I talked to the head snake. You're going to be good. So there were 2-3 times I was in the pit, and I remember the producers would ask me, like, hey, are you nervous? And I was like, I'm chilling, because I formed amazing relationships with I'd say the majority of everybody.
Right.
So I was like, if I have to have faith in my friends, I have to have faith in God. So then I just kept climbing the ladder.
So you knew what you were doing, Brett. You were like, God's got me. I'm fine. I got this.
Yeah, for real.
Hey, look. Hey, we're all sinners here. He forgives. He forgives.
Speaking of non-sinners, how shocked were you to see a pastor?
Just as shocked as I was to see an OnlyFans model. So
yes, Alyssa.
You think it's the damn Hunger Games, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to fight whoever. Because I initially thought that Frank was the bounty hunter because he was wearing like a freaking cloak, and I was like,
yeah.
I see his makeup though, so I was like, but yeah, it was interesting. I think Jacob could attest to this, like, because this is before we know anybody, right? And you're in the Twilight Zone, and I remember looking at him, and I was like, I don't know, because normally only like in Catholicism you wear that, so I was like, I think we'll get along, and we kind of gave each other like a respectful head nod, and then me and the shows, the what do they call it? We're the trauma bond. I'd say I'll call them the downfall 6 because pretty much all of them left. That's fired, but yeah, it was interesting for sure. It made my brain think a little bit.
Yeah, such a wild, probably one of the most wild group of reality stars
100%.
that I've ever seen prior to the old school real world days. Really wild group looking back at it now. But Brett, you said that your gameplay was like an ebb and flow, like a snake. So walk us through what that meant for you in practice of the game.
I mean, I think shout out to Catherine here. She said it best in the final episode. She thought that I should have won because I was the most adaptable. I would agree with that in the least cockiest way. I would agree with that. Going in, I was like, I'm going to be as honest as possible, but I know for a fact, I said to myself, I'm not going to tell a single lie here. I'm not going to manipulate anybody. But I'm also not a dumbass. I'm not naive. I have wisdom and discernment. I have a background in, like, I can think. So being able to ebb and flow, it's different because the challenges dictate how the snake's going to go, and you don't know who's going to win. And it's literally anyone's game. And I mean, Jordan's one of my best friends on the show. I didn't think she was ever going to win. So Jordan, if you're watching this, I love you. But I was also proud. Like, I remember when she beat me in the Kaufman thing, she won. I was like, damn, like, hell yeah, like, I'm proud of you. Like, that's really, really good. So you have to, that's where the relationship aspect came in. I know I'm personable. I know I can get along with a homeless man or a CEO or a stranded man on an island. Like, I know I can talk to anybody. But I also know I'm extremely competitive. So it was very interesting. And my strategy for the first, I knew I wasn't going to leave early. I knew I was going to be there until like the final race. Like, I had a really strong feeling. And I'm not just anybody's intellect or skill. thing. I just kind of knew. But yeah, you really have to be a chameleon in the fact of like knowing to choose your battles, going deep into that, like whether you want to win, if winning's actually going to benefit you, or paint a target on your back. So I don't want to say I didn't really not try in challenges, because I did give it my all in all of them. But sometimes I would take the foot off the gas a little bit due to strategic. Because like half the challenges, the only challenge that I know that I genuinely lost with all that I tried was the crane one, because I slipped. And Derek and I love Derek, good dude. That was awesome. I think that was the most eventful, because there was this huge build up. We go last.
Yeah.
All this stuff. But anyways, to get to the premise of the question, because I can ramble on.
But yeah,
it was difficult. It was difficult. But
yeah,
you just have to really observe.
Catherine felt very passionate still when we interviewed her a couple weeks back that it should have been you, if not her bestie girl. So she was very passionate about that. And it would make sense why, sometimes you kind of have to throw it a little bit. If you watch Big Brother or The Challenge or The Traitors as well, you have to know you can't always look like you're going to be the one that's going to rake house with all the competition, because that's a huge target.
Well, but I actually still participated in the challenges. Mm-hmm. So I remember I went on Reddit. That was a mistake early on. They're like, Brett made the claim that, he didn't do half the challenges, but Brett said he didn't try in the challenges. It's like, no, I actually participated fully and tried, versus that's like a point we can carry on later about, but I want to make that clear. There's a difference between not
understand. For sure. For sure. For sure.
All right. So,
yeah.
So your big strategy, it was honestly, it was a game of deception. So how did you think that would work? Or why did you think that would work?
Honesty is the best policy. But no, everyone for the most part no matter how close you are with people. Like I knew Jack, Devontae, I knew we weren't gonna lie to each other in McLean. Right. But I also know at the end of the day, which we all acknowledge to each other, that we're gonna have to go up against each other. Mm-hmm. That being said, lies tend to either eat people alive or tear groups apart. So if I can stay true to myself and watch everybody else, I'm not gonna say everybody, but certain groups and certain individuals tell a lie. If you literally just sit back, I'd say 90% of the reason why I wasn't seeing the first few episodes was literally because other people will probably say, I was observing too, I was strategizing. Yeah, bullshit. Sorry. I was actually observing people. I would see if somebody said the same thing to the other person. I'd overhear conversations, seeing people's like mannerisms, behavioral traits, physical characteristics, their demeanor. Like I was watching, because it's like I'm investing in this, because if this is how you're acting now, it's probably going to happen later. So I can like dictate how fake or real you're actually going to be, and how empathetic and nice I should be to an individual, or like stone cold to an individual. So yeah, that's my answer.
You see, you fascinated me, because watching you and the way that you operated and that you think, you remind me of an operator. And I mean that because, my best of friends are Navy SEALs, and they're operators. So they operate, and it's like the way that your thinking pattern and everything, it's like it's just watching you maneuver. It just reminded me so much of how they are and what they do. And then you just saying like how you watch and observe and all these things and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, she reminds me so much of them. That's funny.
No, sorry, Jack just texted me. That's why I'm just texting him back right now. No,
that's funny.
I appreciate that. And for everybody watching the drinking rules, talking about next shows, I'll answer that question right now. I would love to be on Special Forces. I would love to be on that or the challenge, but Special Forces would be sick. I know you have to be kind of like up there to be on that, but that's what
you never know.
Let's make it happen, Brett. Let's make it happen.
I know
Challenge first. Challenge first. I was wearing a challenge shirt earlier today, actually. And then we'll get you on Special Forces. Let's make it happen.
Manifest that shit. What?
Yes. Um, but early on, Brett, speaking of your friend Jack, there was showmances. The three of you guys got together and said, "Hey, maybe you would play that card if it made sense." So there was a showman's vibe a little bit with Kaylee, which I think not necessarily on your end per se. Okay, of course. And then obviously she was crushed by Nina getting picked instead. So walk us through that whole moment of you're entering a show, like you're surrounded by great guys that you can vibe with. You guys are understandably talking like, hey, we can go the showman's route because that is a playing competition TV, a play that you could take. So just walk us through that whole showman's, just how it played out. Again, it wasn't a lot on your end, of course, but
all right, let's talk about this. So yeah, so the trauma bomb. I fucking hate when people called it that. I was like, why you whatever. So we show up to the dinner table. It's kind of like a little story here. I'll make a long story short. Show up to the dinner table, and a variety of some people at that table came up to me and were like, Kaylee wouldn't shut the hell up about you, you and I think someone else. And I was like, fantastic, whatever. So until I established, because I went into the house in a relationship, and I was like, all right, I gotta let them know at some point, but until then, I'm gonna like not talk to them for my own like protection in a sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, she comes up to me, she's like, you're hot. And I literally just like straight up ignored her, and she called me like but no, I'm not gonna bash you. I respect her profession, all that.
Yeah.
We did have genuine conversations, but from a competitive aspect and just like a moral aspect, I kind of avoided her like the damn plague. So some conversations, they really wanted me to they kind of forced it. And I was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Hell no. And then there was a part where myself, Devontae, and her converged at the kitchen counter. And, the producers are like, so Kaylee's for a chat. I was like, damn it. I was like, yeah, sure. Where do you want to go? She's like, I'm like,
oh no.
I'm like, Devontae, get your ass with me. So Devontae's lit rolling himself. They only show the conversation was like 2 minutes. It was like half an hour. Devontae was literally lit rolling for a half an hour. He was just like, damn, what the hell? So we're sitting there, and I'm trying to be respectful. I know I could use all these, flirting, whatever, to my advantage, but not who I am. So I sat down, and she's like facing me, and I'm just like facing 10 cameras. And she's making all these sexual innuendos, yeah, this and that. I'm just like, for sure. And it takes a lot for me to get feel awkward. I was like, my parents called me. They're like, I know you. Your face was beet red. No one else is gonna know that, but you felt so awkward, didn't you? I was like, yeah, I did.
So funny. It was hysterical to me because you were like, she is not picking up what I'm throwing out. You were not interested.
You think after the 14th time she hit on me and I denied it, she'd stop. But no, and then I was gonna tell her about my situation, but then I was like, wait, I just made bros with these guys. I have to congregate with them and be honest, so it builds our relationship. So that's when I was like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna flirt with this chick, but I'll talk to her enough because she's making her rounds all the time. She definitely ain't gonna keep her mouth shut. I'll keep her in the pocket, but I'm loyal to you guys, and then whatever. And then Mina and we developed actually a really strong connection. She started isolating herself a lot, and I would try my best to go up to individuals and be like, hey, human to human, how's it going? You good emotionally, mentally? You squared away? All right, good. Mina, we bonded over holistic health, eating.
That's cool.
A bunch of cool shit like that. And I was gonna choose her and McLean over Kaylee, but I knew that Kaylee thought I was gonna save her entirely. I don't know where she got that confidence from, but it was crazy. It's daddy. I'm like, you're wild between that. But yeah, it was interesting and awkward. Outside of the show, nothing but respect. wishing nothing but
Yeah.
on the show. It ain't Love Island. All right. It would have been cool to see on like in physical challenges, but shot herself in the foot. It is what it is. So
Yeah, no, she is beautiful and sweet, and I appreciate the good TV that she gave with that awkwardness. So thank you to her. Was it awkward entering the show, though, in a relationship? And was that a whirlwind of a conversation because it happened so quick, too?
I got on the show. Well, I signed for the show. Yeah, it wasn't really weird. I'm pretty upfront and direct with people. I felt like I was on the show. People, just two specific people that I may or may not have liked. But no, it wasn't complicated. I knew that at some point, like McLean, for example, she would attest to this if she sees this. She'd be like, yeah, Brett wouldn't fucking talk to me. And then I asked him if he had a girlfriend. And then she was like, oh, yeah. So like some girls were getting mad that I wasn't talking to them. McLean was very mad. She thought I was being an asshole. But no, I was like, hey, listen, heart to heart. And then once we had that conversation, we were like brother and sister. And yeah, we were homies the entire show. So
good.
It wasn't that weird.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh boy. So some people came in hot and they were saying that you gave off douche vibes. Like, how did you feel about that? And how were you able to prove them wrong that you weren't a douche?
Going into this, I wasn't gonna be like, yeah, I'm the best looking guy. I didn't give a shit about that stuff. I knew everyone's gonna be pretty. I knew everyone's gonna be smart. Because I said it was a game about strategy, so it's like I don't even give a shit about looks, like whatever. It's a pretty common theme when you meet me. Everyone just assumes I'm a stereotypical like meathead douchebag. So it wasn't anything I'm new to.
Not you too,
but I knew that by being my authentic self, I get the same reaction I do every damn day in my life. Oh my gosh, you're not like I thought you were. Yeah, it's because I actually have empathy and I actually am cool as shit. So yeah, let's talk. So going in, I knew they were going to do that. I knew they were for half the season. I was probably going to be portrayed a certain way, and that's okay. I mean, you sign for it, you accept whatever happens, and then I knew as it went along, I'm like, they're going to have to showcase like if I'm smart or not. Like
yeah.
Are by being just like a juggernaut physical specimen. That's not how that works because you have to have 50-50. So yeah, going in, I assumed that, but then again, everybody was assuming so many false things about everybody. And that was just the whole part of this big, fun, psychological operation. So yeah, it didn't really bother me either.
Yeah, I thought the show did a good job at showing different sides of everyone as well. Yes, did they lean into maybe certain sides a little bit more? Of course, as every show does, but I do feel like we were able to see other sides, and that douche vibe went innuendo went out the door really quick, though. Really quick, it went out the door.
I wouldn't know. As viewers, if that's what you thought, then I appreciate that. But
I didn't think it. I'm saying they put it out there right away, but you could clearly tell soon into the show that was not the case. Yeah. The comment that came out of their mouth that was not who you are. You could tell early on that was not the case. But it was a little bit awkward with you and the pastor, kind of from the jump. Why do you think that was?
Okay. So
apologize. I can't think of his name right now. Cannot think of his name. I so apologize.
I'll say Pastor Jacob. I am going to be honest about everything I say. I got to uphold that end of who I am. So I'll answer this two ways like I do every time someone asks me stuff. Personal answer, personal feelings, and competitive feelings, specifically on the show. Personally, do we have different beliefs in certain things? Yeah, that's okay. Still love him. Do I wish him nothing but happiness and blessings for his wife and daughter and future kids? 100%. Would we hang out? Negative 100%. If he ever needed me for something, would I be there? 100%. Would I casually hang out with him? No. On the show, this might sound trippy to some people, but I was really trying hard because I was having fun. I was meeting new people. Yeah, I was being a human. But on the other end, behind the scenes, like internally, I was really trying to walk with the spirit because I was like challenging myself. Like I actually like it was a big spiritual journey for me.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I realized when you get closer to God, you have wisdom and discernment. The veil kind of, I don't see, oh, this person has bad energy. It's like I see a human and a spirit. It sounds like I have schizophrenia. I don't. And there were just a lot of things because, you know, I'm watching behavioral traits. I'm trying to see if you're going to victimize yourself. Like when we came out of the crates, I wanted to see who wanted to be the first snake. I wanted to see who is going to, in that conflict, who's going to top dog and who has the ego, who's submissive, like all these things. Jacob, in the house, from my point of view, I wouldn't say he lied. I don't think he did that. But he was the biggest shit stirrer I've ever seen in my entire life. If there was a problem, it usually, before he left, was usually from him or Catherine. But Catherine, her problems came from the actual strategizing in the game. His problems were straight emotion. I never saw him pray once. He said, God damn it, every morning because he slept in my room. And this isn't me throwing shade at you, Jacob. This is just what happened. And it's on camera. And there were just things he would do. And this isn't me saying he's a bad person or a bad spiritual leader. There were just things he did or said or was a martyr in a certain aspect where if he did something wrong, he'd give a speech. That's why you hear me say treason as like a joke in one of the episodes. That was probably the nicest way of me saying you're a fucking bullshitter, pardon my language, because again, I preach taking things with a grain of salt. It was like I can smell bullshit from a mile away. I know in your heart you're a good guy, but here, I'm sorry, I see right through you, bro. And the one thing that pissed me off about him, and I handled it one-on-one with him, so I can say it now because I didn't go to social media and bash him. He did that.
Hello, Jacob, who's in the chat right now.
But no, again, from a competitive point of view, I think that his heart was in the good place, but emotionally, I don't think he could take it, whether it's because of his integrity or him trying to be holy or spiritual. That's fine. And it is hard because you want the money for certain reasons, you know.
For sure.
I know why he wanted it, and I fully support that, you know.
Yeah, and for his family and everything too.
And I had conversations with him about like, you know, diet, other things. Because every conversation that I had with him, I knew in my heart was sincere and genuine. And I did want to help him. But I knew at the end of the day, I didn't want him there. And I never directly went for him. And him and I had an agreement that we would always be honest and upfront with each other. I was cool with Jacob. I was cool with you, Jacob, up until you thought you were telling everybody I was gunning for you, and you were telling everybody that you wanted me out without even telling me. And I was aware of it the whole time. The second thing was you tried to have my best friends turn on me, and it was extremely naive of you to do that. And I learned a lot because to me, you were emotionally compromised and you wanted your weakness, unfortunately, was you wanted people to like you and see you a certain way. So rather than having to say anything to you, I let you basically run yourself into the ground, and emotionally you felt the pressure and sacrificed yourself. So I know his heart was in a good place. He's very smart, but emotionally, that was his biggest compromise. And yeah, it was cool to see him come back out of the crate too. I did not expect that. And I just didn't, sorry, Jacob, I just didn't trust you. Do I think things would have been differently if we were on the same side? I believe that 70% of that, it would have gone differently, but I still think eventually, because naturally in a competitive, isolated environment, your natural behavior traits come out. So I think that would have bit you in the ass later on as well. But I think our friendship would have blossomed in a more positive way than immediately being at a standoff. Is what I'll say.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I can't imagine in the situation with his profession and his beliefs and being on that show, like that is a weird dynamic to get used to, and it puts you out of your comfort zone. So totally understand that. But you could tell that other cast members kind of felt the same way as well, which hence the buildup that he probably felt, which led to that epic moment of his departure as well. But yeah, so nice when everyone came back. Definitely nice.
So, as an OG, what was it like when the new contestants walked in? Like, did you feel like it just like shaped up, like just shaped up the whole foundation, and like was like, oh shit? Like, what were you thinking? What was in the head of yours?
I want to say this. I don't know if it's breaking a contract. In the mic room, you can see other photos of people. So we knew that there was going to be new people, but it's also a reality show, and we all know on every show they always add new people. So it wasn't shaking anything up. I just remember the first time Christine came, they told us to relax. They were giving us wine, and I get on this freaking dragon onesie to have a good time. And they're like, all right, everybody in the court. Was like, yeah, go put that on. That's super cute. I was like, all right, whatever. And then we get called out to the courtyard. I'm in a damn onesie. And I look like a buffoon. I look like an idiot.
A comfy one, though. Who doesn't love a good onesie?
It was cool. Shook up the game, you know. Christine, do you just want me to answer what was it like, or do you want me to talk about it?
I would say what it was like. Mm-hmm. We'll definitely get into some of them, like, you know, walking tampon and all, but just overall, what was the vibe when somebody new came in?
All right, it got a little dark here. I'm charging my laptop. All right, let me put my flashlight on. It was that's better. It was so sinister, dear good Lord. It was interesting. You know, it was kind of expected, but I stuck to my plan, sat back, observed people. Christine, personally, you know, I think she could attest to this. There were a couple times where we had some heart-to-hearts. Her biggest weakness, I don't think she was thick-skinned enough. Mm-hmm. She did not take my advice that I gave her. I said, hey, listen, because she was crying, had a heart-to-heart with her in the workout area. Gave her a hug. I was like, listen, the best thing you could do right now is just to be honest, and you need to connect with more people. You're just connecting with Cody, and John doesn't trust you. I'll be your friend, but just take my advice, please. And she didn't. She let her emotions get the best of her. But I do know, incredibly smart, athletic, has a lot going for her. Only thing that pissed me off about her, she's telling me she's competitive. She said some weird shit before in the cockroach challenge where we were filming, and they didn't put it in, but they give you like a pre-interview. Like
cockroach challenge.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah, McLean and Jacob
that
crushed
one
that.
got me.
Yeah.
No, she just said some weird shit to me. I wouldn't say it was weird, but like provocative. And we get in the crates, whatever, and she said, get me out like 17 times, like 5 times. And we get out and the cameras are off. And this is because they didn't put the individual ones on. They had cameras for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And she was chill. She was kind of freaking out. I was getting cockroaches out of her hair, saying like, good job, like whatever. Cameras turn on. Yeah, I wanted to stay in there, but Brett said he kept wanting to get out. So I'm like,
oh hell no.
I'm not making this up. I had so much respect for her. So much. And then she said that. I'm like, no, DF, you did not. No, you didn't. Because I ain't your friend anymore.
Yeah, and don't flip like that on camera.
I made it very clear to everyone, every new person, I will be loyal, honest, and upfront with you. If I hear anything bad, I'll let you know. If you are dishonest with me or attack my character in any way, I will make sure as shit you leave the house. And a couple of people did that, and they all left the house, the people who did do that. But Christine...
True story.
Christine misjudged me a little bit, but I felt bad after the voice box thing because, again, I'm very competitive. I've lived in different parts of the world. I've been in very stressful situations, is what I'll say. So mentally, emotionally, I know I'm extremely capable. There's probably things anybody can say to me that I haven't said to myself. So it's all good. It's like a little whatever. I saw her. Did I think she was acting a lot? 100%. But I do understand authentic tears. If I'm going to have a heart-to-heart with her, I'm going to do what I do and have that conversation one-on-one and not in front of people because that's just a respect thing and it's no one else's damn business. So I went up to her and, I actually reached out to her after the show, apologized, wished her nothing but the best, and we're good. I mean, whether she likes me or hates me, doesn't matter. Still wishing her nothing but goodness. A lot of people had mixed feelings about her. That's their own opinions. But, I liked her up until she did that. I was going to keep her at arm's length.
Yeah.
And, I know competitors when I see one. She had a lot of potential, but fear and emotions ran her life in that house. And she didn't make any connections. She just banked on Cody. And unfortunately, Catherine, this isn't talking shit. I love you to death. Great player, great villain. She trusted Catherine. Catherine did. Well, actually, no, that's not true because she did talk shit about Catherine. So that's actually pretty tough. So disregard that. Yeah, Christine, cool girl.
Speaking of Catherine, though, who is, I feel like, the best villain of the summer. She's one of my favorite villains in a long time, in the best of ways. But let's talk alliances, Brett. So when Catherine betrayed you by not picking your alliance, what went through your head? Because you guys, Mac and her, like, you guys were like kind of tight, and she made it seem like it was just her and you boys. So what went through your head?
I didn't trust anybody 100%. Some were like 99, some were like 30. I'm very it was weird. My percentages with trusting people are very like analytical. I don't know. That's great word.
I hear you.
But Catherine always made me breakfast. We did a thing where we'd slap each other in the face with tortillas. They didn't put that in there.
That would have been so funny.
I'm not going to say me and the boys were naive enough to think that Catherine is tantalizing elsewhere. Jack, maybe a little bit, was a bit naive. Love you, Jack. Yeah, it was a bit disheartening. Once the hot tub snake room altercation happened, there was a point in time where I stood up and I talked and they didn't show it. But people were talking about dishonesty or disrespect or something. And that's when I got mad at Jacob because he was patronizing people about being honest and how he's not the victim, which he was right. But I was like trying to call him out for some shit. But then I realized, I was like, wait a second. First of all, I should not be emotionally reacting to this. I'm going to shut the hell up because I just heard Catherine lie. So I'm going to stop talking. I don't care if I look like an idiot. I just literally stopped talking in the middle of my sentence and sat down. And that's when I knew I 100% didn't trust Jacob, but I 1,000% didn't trust Catherine. Now, but I also know she promised a lot of people she'd save her. And the boys and her, we were coalescing for a long time. We were absolutely, and Catherine knew that. It's like, I don't want to say she was like Amanda, where Amanda would just go where the snake is. But Catherine was smart. Unfortunately, Catherine, your downfall, unfortunately, is that you played your cards way too soon. That's it. Other than that,
yeah, true.
I like Catherine a lot. Super dope. She's goofy as shit. Crazy good at painting for some reason, which is
right.
Yeah, but it wasn't something that wasn't going to be like we foresaw it. The only thing that bothered me about Catherine was when Devontae and I were in the pit, and she just defended Devontae and not me. She wasn't like, listen, they're both great guys. Whoever you choose, awesome. She was like, I love Devontae, this, and I was like, bitch, what? I was like, okay. I was like, all right.
I see you.
You. No, it was, I don't know. I just remember when John was Snake and being a dick. I was just like, yeah, get Catherine the hell out of here. Like, she stabbed me in the back, hurt my feelings, but I was like, yeah, it's your time, unfortunately.
Oh, I was so sad to see her go, though. I was so sad to see her go. She was good TV, though. Really good TV.
She was, for sure. All right. So, okay. So there was that infamous line about the mayor being a walking tampon. And like, all right. So what was your reaction like when that went down?
So he came out of the box. I wasn't making fun of him. I didn't call him names or anything. Obviously, they're going to show my confessional, but that happened like hours after actually meeting him. Because, I wanted to observe. And, he's an intellectual guy. He's well-spoken. I know he's not a dumbass. I told him the same thing. Hey, I'll be good to you. Just don't attack my character. Good. When I got to confessional, we're a little drunk, right?
Are you guys able to drink a lot on that show?
Yeah, probably the best.
Okay, well, that's good news. That's good news because not on a lot of shows you can, and I feel bad for them.
Yeah, I love Island Unlimited. My boy said too. Anyways, the other point.
Awesome.
No, I did not mean that as a derogatory thing. If you wear tampons, you're a pussy. Oh my gosh, get over yourself. I'm sorry.
I didn't take it that way though.
No, I'm sorry. I'm a competitive guy. I could have said way worse. Everybody in my life was like, dude, that's all you said. I was like,
I thought it was hilarious.
Me too. We see out the maturity of a 15-year-old boy.
Yeah, like I gave him the benefit of the doubt. It was just a drunk thought. I'm like, yeah, this guy's a walking tampon. But my secondary thoughts to that stood true. I did think emotionally he was going to be a weak player because he got out of his body language straight out, whether it was a show or not, naturally under pressure, your body's going to fold. He had this chip, and I was like, interesting. I'm going to play on that. I'll give him like a few days. But if things go in his favor, I want to see if he rides that high horse, because if it does, it's going to work into my plans of exploitation and your own downfall, whatever. Like, I was like thinking. So.
And especially with him not being an OG too.
Yeah, I mean, we were more cool with Christine coming in than John. Outside the show, him and I actually got a lot. We had a lot in common, like adventure, hiking, survival stuff.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Whether he thinks I'm an arrogant prick and hates me, or he doesn't, cool, man. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm nothing against you. But on a competitive note, I just wanted to get to know him. And we did have some conversations. But the first morning, I think it was, part of me wishes they showed it, but the other part doesn't. And the psychologist dude said they're not going to put that on. There was like a Peaky Blinders conversation. Oh, this is an untold. No, John, unlike you, I will not attack your character. We sat down at the table. I'll give you my opinions on every newcomer and everybody, so take it with a grain of salt. So I'm eating breakfast by myself, sipping on coffee and Red Bull, getting ready to work out. And he sits down in front of me. He's like, hello, Brett. Basically, it was like, are you ready to have a difficult and challenging conversation? And I was like, yeah, for sure, man. Let's go. Like, what's up? And, I'm going to play dumb. I don't think he has no idea if I'm ridiculously smart or I'm like, whatever. I'm just kind of like, he probably thinks the same thing people thought when they came in. I'm a typical gym bro, arrogant, self-centered, minimal comprehension of X, Y, and Z. So he's talking to me and says, I overheard you saying a certain word, super demeaning and this and that. And I was like, okay, what did I say? And then he said it. And I was like, dude, me and my boys, we're talking about a movie. You're telling me. He basically came up to me and was like, hey, I heard you calling people this word. And I'm like,
oh, got you.
I was like, who did I call that word? He's like, and then he backtracks. And this is the truth, John, unfortunately. Backtracks. He's like, well, it's not that you necessarily called him that. It was just you guys were using that term. And then he gave me a whole lecture on what it actually means and the significance of it and the whole breakdown. I'm just like, let me stop you there, dude. You're a politician. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. You have every right to think and say whatever you want. If you misheard something, yeah, there's probably a way better approach to having this conversation with me. But I'm not gonna play this mental game of chess with you. Like, get the hell out of my face. You are wrong on so many ways. Because once I was like, you're a politician. I know where you're going with this. You're gonna say I'm a sexist, misogynist. And if you actually knew anything about my background, it's the furthest thing from that.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. He's like, okay. And basically I was like, listen, I'm gonna let it go. And he like walked away. So after that conversation, immediately in the show, did not like him straight away because he didn't listen to what the hell I said when he came out of the box.
And taking things out of context too.
I was like, bro, this is still a game. I'm a competitor. If you're gonna basically go against everything I just said, hey, I will give you the freaking world, man. Just don't attack my character. And he did that, but I was also kind of integrating in my mind certain the entitlement on the show. I know he does a lot for his community. Again, outside this, he's a great dude. It sounds like I'm just hammering him. It's not the case. Speaking on my own experience.
Both can be true, you know?
Yeah, true.
I mean, he can say what he wants. That's great. I'm a dick. Whatever. So, yeah, it was just interesting seeing that mental chess, kind of like sizing each other up, seeing what he would do if I tried to de-escalate it or throw fire on it, to see. I was just like, he could say I was reading Brett. I was like physically, emotionally, psychologically, sexually just breaking you down, dog. Like just taking pick notes. That's why in the Badger hunt, they don't show me. I found the first Badger.
Oh.
And they're like, who do you want to choose? And they just show me saying Mayor John. That's not what happened. I get it. I was like, the only reason why I am choosing this person, whoever had it, I would do this, is because you have the advantage. They cut that out. So I choose John. And right now, going off of the two visual representations in the conversation we had, I had a thought. I had a hypothesis in a sense. I was like, all right, actually, I'm going to play this game because I knew he had the advantage. Mm-hmm. So I was like, Mayor John. And Jim Jeffers he said something about, does it feel like it's a personal attack? And I was like, no. And he's like, yes, it was. And I was like, all right, he's emotionally invested in the game. Let's see. If I lose, I want to see who votes me out. And you see in the show, he's like, get Brett out, get Brett out, get Brett out. So I was like, shit, I was right. So Alyssa's like, you hurt my friend, so I'm going to vote you out. He's like, see ya. And I was just like, all right, for sure. So in my mind, I'm like, I already have every other individual locked in and I'm observing him. I know for a fact, if he wins, his downfall is just going to be himself. So I was like, I'm going to do what he's going to say. I'll be a nice little boy. Everyone's going to be that. Just be careful how you run the show. You want people to like you and not hate you. So he kind of buried his own grave. But it would have been interesting to see. I'll give him this. I think it would have been a lot better if he showed up out of the crates rather than the middle of the game.
Yeah.
There's
always those contestants you always wonder about, if they were able to start day one, what would their trajectory and the overall vibe have been? I could see that.
Mm.
Yeah. But Brett, you did make it all the way to the end, but unfortunately finished runner-up. Did you think your honesty strategy would carry you all the way to the win?
I think it would. I thought it was. I thought it would take me pretty far, and I did. It had to be it wasn't just honesty though. Like you have to win challenges. Like technically, when I started trying was when I actually won like back to back and shit. I wanted to start winning at the appropriate time, the most pivotal time. So like when Jordan and I won, despite that like weird fiasco that went on with the double-headed bullshit. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. You're good.
It is what it is. I think honestly it took me. I mean, honestly, if we're being honest here, it took me.
We're being honest.
And then everybody that lied. So
Yeah, no, totally true. I think it was a combination of being honest, of course, your gameplay, competitiveness, but then also the relationships that you built. You know, you had a great friendship. I can't imagine the friendships that you have afterwards. And then also Jack and Mac as well, and their relationship blossoming, which must have been wild. He didn't want to go down that route, but it just naturally happened. They were just like drawn to each other. So that all made sense, though.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love them. I talk to Jack every day, every day.
Awesome.
So and Jordan, and we're all in a group chat. So we chat. Some people are silent, some aren't. But yeah, Jack and I, we Snapchat like all day, every day. It's freaking hilarious. He's supposed to be coming to visit me in like a few weeks or like a month or so.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Him and Mac, hell yeah. Love that.
Oh, yeah, I was happy to see that. And then happy when they finally hard launched like a couple of weeks, a month ago or so. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. So tell us, Brett, so if you could go back and like do this all over again, would you keep the same strategy or would you be a little bit more deceptive? What would you do differently? If anything, differently.
I would do everything the exact same.
All right.
But I think I'd be more like relentless in my speech and the choosing of that ceremony, because I was being very patient and very kind. If I could go back, I would probably say a lot more shit. I'd be like, so I said all these other factual, nice, and honest things. Now I'm going to go on the offensive here because this is some BS.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was so good. But there was also so many random... It was also a little bit of luck as well, too, with some of the twists.
Yeah, I feel bad.
That was thrown in it. But I would have loved to see a more fired up during that speech, though, too. It would have been nice to see that. I would have popped some popcorn.
They showed about like 80% of it. I'm not complaining about it. And the speeches were like, we didn't have time to prep for that shit. That was like...
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, hey,
that was just like on the fly.
I just remember praying. I was like, God, please help me to articulate, be knowledgeable, and not look like an idiot. Make myself look like an idiot. And then I remember
Did you black out?
I don't mind public speaking. I've done it.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if it was like a surreal moment because you're at the end, you know.
It was. It didn't even hit me until I had to give a speech. And I remember once I got to the part, I had to like rewatch it like 3 times because I don't even remember saying half of it. Once I started coming with like receipts saying, hey, John, you're because I knew that I had to play on his emotions and relate to him. So I was like, hey, you came in here saying you're an honest politician, that you were different, that you're a competitor. You go off statistics, you go off gameplay, strategization. And that's when I blanked out. And then I was like, shit, like I was actually going off, not to embellish it. I was like, he didn't do this, he didn't do that, he didn't do that. And then the TV actually backed me up. So I was like, oh, that unfolded beautifully. So
yeah,
blacked out a little bit. But at the end, I just remember everyone, I like stopped and it was like 20 or 30 seconds of just silence. And everyone's just like, holy shit. And Jack's like, you got him, man. And no, it was interesting, but it is what it is.
Oh, it was so good. But what has life been, Brett, since The Snake has aired?
Pretty much the same. I mean,
yeah.
If I go on runs, on average, like 1 to 2 people will be like, "Oh, The Snake," or "Yo, Brett," whatever. Not that I'm I'm like a negative Z-list celebrity, but no, like it's people recognize you. Like, we went out like last weekend, and a handful of people came up to me and were like, "You had a good speech," or this, and that. I was like, "I don't even know you, but thank you." Like, so it's cool, not for the fame aspect. I don't give a shit about that. It was more so the appreciation. Like the viewers actually felt engaged and had an internal conflict with how the show turned out or who got voted off. Like, and they asked me questions. And to me, I give respect to the production for putting it together, but like the cast, maybe we could have like swapped some people up. But other than that, it's cool like how people get so invested. I remember on Reddit, they're like, is Jack visiting Mac? And it was a video of Mac's.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's funny.
What the hell? Yeah, I'm like, how the hell did you? Yeah.
Good thing you weren't on a Bravo show, because Bravo people can investigate like no other.
my
They will find
goodness.
every skeleton. Like, thank goodness none of you guys are on a Bravo show. But has everyone been kind to you? I know to some other castmates they haven't been.
My way. It's okay. Hey. Wiener dog. I'll show him in a second. I'm so sorry. Please repeat that.
You're good.
Has everyone been kind to you afterwards, social media wise? Because I know to some people like Catherine and others, they've been a little cruel.
I haven't gotten death threats or anything like that. I've had some people say they can beat my ass, and I've actually sent them the location of my gym. And because I've done that before with like fitness stuff, where I'm like, hey, listen, like, I'm not gonna talk shit or prove a point, but like I walk the walk, buddy. Like, pull up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready
He
to
stands
go.
on business.
No,
Don't
for real.
do that.
Like, it's just
Goodness.
but no, I mean, in life, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't talk to some people from the show. I know, again, I'm not going to be like, I'm some perfect guy. I'm so nice. No, but if I lose, I'm an honorable loser. Like I texted Frank a very sincere, genuine text. Like, hey, social media bullshit aside, I love you, man. Hope your beautiful mom's doing good. I wish you nothing but blessings. If you ever need me, let me know. I wish nothing but the best. I'll always be your friend. A month, nothing. So I'm like, you know what?
Really?
Dude, come on, man. Not to put him on blast. Like, again, I'm not saying he's a bad
Oh,
guy.
wow. Well, now we know what to ask him on Monday, Kimberly.
Yes, we do.
Like, I love Frank. Like, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know.
if Frank, if you're mad, and listen, if you're gonna get mad at me for talking on here, not in text, you could have responded. Sorry, but
True
might
story.
be mad because me and John don't get along. That's okay. But I never talk shit about you, Frank. I was always loving and supportive.
Yeah, I saw that.
And if you got mad that in my competitiveness on the show, that I called you out for not doing half the shit and lying when you said you were honest, I'm sorry, dude. Like, you're still a great guy, but some bullshit, man.
Yeah. But I know we're coming to an end. So, Brett, Kimberly and I love to do a little lightning round of questions real quick with you. But real quick, for those that are watching, like, subscribe, and share. There's more snake interviews coming. Next week, we're going to be sitting down with Frank and Alyssa as well. But now that you're a little bit hydrated, what is the most shocking? What is the most? Go ahead.
I was going to say it. I had to say it. Alyssa, super cool. I would always give her shit for having a better tan than her. So I was going to say, Alyssa, I still have a better tan than you.
Cheers to a good tan, guys. Yeah. What was the most shocking moment you witnessed in the game?
Most shocking?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a minute. I got to think. So sorry for the dramatic pause. Honestly, I'm not going to be like, I'm a fortune teller. I knew this was coming, but nothing was really that shocking. Maybe Catherine defending Devontae, but I know that Catherine doesn't think ill of me. And she communicates and is upfront, which I respect that. So I won't blast her because I don't have anything bad to say about her. So honestly, nothing really shocked me that much. Okay, wait. I thought the finale, I'm not complaining how it was, how it ended, whatever. I thought it was going to be more like not just physical, but intellectual. And like, I thought they're going to make it like huge. It wasn't. I guess that was the most shocking thing. Or I think everybody can attest to this. We all thought that we were going to have more like challenges by the river or like doing some rope challenges.
Oh. Well, who knows for season 2?
Uh-oh, did we lose him?
We shall see. But while we wait to see if we do get Brett back or not, which is perfectly okay, note that next week, Kimberly and we get to interview Frank. Let me add him back to the stage. Hey, sorry.
There he is.
I'm sure your battery died, so thank you for sticking with us.
Sorry about that.
But Kimberly, go ask away with the next question, Kimberly.
Biggest snake in your opinion?
Who's the biggest snake?
Yeah, in your opinion. Your thoughts?
Before I answer this, what would define someone as a snake? Like it could be the biggest liar, but even then, it doesn't necessarily make you a snake. I don't know.
I would say he was the biggest backstabber. That's not what you consider the biggest snake in terms of the premise of the show, but I consider like a snake as like a backstabber.
I guess it would technically be Catherine, because she did promise everyone on your mother or brother X amount of times that she would save them.
Yeah, and she would own it too. She would probably own it too.
Yeah. So sorry, Catherine, you're the biggest snake. Yeah.
Okay, next is besides Jack, player you'd actually grab a beer with outside of the game.
Well, obviously Jack. Jack, Devontae, Catherine, Jordan, Derek, pretty much everyone.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't really hold resentment. Like, if you want to get a drink, go for it. Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. I hear you.
I know that's not very drama, but it's the truth.
No, the answer is what the answer is. We appreciate the honesty.
Yep, your answer is your answer. There's no right or wrong answer. So, who played the most honest game besides you?
I think a lot of people were honest for the most part. I know Jacob would say he was honest. I'm pretty sure Mac was honest. Jordan, if you're watching this, you were honest for the most part, but you're also a bit naive. I'm sorry. Love you, but I don't know. Jack was somewhat honest. I'd say, honestly, Devontae's going to hate me for this, but probably, well, that's not true because Derek did have other plans. Shit. I'd say McLean.
Okay. Good answer. Lastly, well, the question I was going to ask you, you already answered. It was, would you do another reality show? And if so, which one? So I'm going to switch it up. What was the other reality show you're supposed to be on? Are you able to say that?
I don't
You mentioned that.
It's a popular one. Like,
okay.
Popular.
Competition or just regular show?
There's a lot of mingling. Very
Got
hot
you.
place.
Okay. I think I'm following him.
Yeah.
Okay, understand.
I'll just DM with you.
Sounds good. Inquiring minds would like to know. We'll promise not to share. But Brad, we really appreciate your time so much, and on a Friday night. So really, thank you so much for your time and doing this with us and all of your honesty as well. TV was not very fun this year, summer-wise, besides Love Island. So I appreciate what you and everyone on The Snake brought to our TVs this summer. So, guys, again, if you haven't watched, check it out on Hulu. It is really good. But
Yeah,
Brett, this was
the second time,
right. It's even better the second time. But Brett, this was yes. But this was excellent. So thank you again for walking us through casting, the honesty strategy, the alliance pivots, the nail biter of the finale. You lived a social deduction game on national TV and kept your core intact. So much respect to you.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on. This was kick ass. You know, you guys are killing it, and hopefully we can see each other again. That'd be
for
super
sure.
cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And before we go, can you drop your handles for us? Like, let us know where everybody can follow you, like Instagram, TikTok, everywhere else.
Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. It's just my name, just Brett Covalt, no space. Check it out. Subscribe.
And we'll make sure to have it in the description as well. But yes, definitely subscribe. And hopefully there is a lot more ahead for Brett. Again, next, let's get him on the challenge. Because they like to bring in people from all sorts of different shows.
Yeah.
And you are definitely challenge worthy. You have challenge DNA through you, Brett. So, and then we'll get you on special forces. So let's make it happen.
One step closer to fighting Jake Paul. Just kidding.
We're gonna do it.
Oh, I'm for that.
Look, I already have.
I'm for that. Take him down, please.
I got a weapon in my back pocket already.
That'd be
I'm
so
gonna message
sick.
Brett right after this because I got somebody right in his backyard. I've got this already connected.
Awesome. Well, everyone, have a good night. Follow Brett. Make sure to hit that like and have a great weekend, everyone. Take care, guys.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, guys.